We're here at the Aviva Stadium, and Alan, look, it's a historic day for Irish rugby. This team that won the Triple Crown last year, they won the Tour in New Zealand last summer, now a Grand Slam beckons. How big of a day is this for Irish rugby?
Well, that's stating the obvious that it's a big day. It's very important, I think. They've been fantastic the way they've played, the way they've handled the tag of being world #1 team. If you go back to 2019, that whole year was pretty disappointing after the last time that happened. So I think they've gone from strength to strength. You go right back to the first game in Wales, the way they started in round 1. Last week was crazy in Midfield. So I think mentally they've been very, very strong, a lot of character on the side, and they've played brilliantly. But today is, sports can be strange sometimes. They're expected to win today. They're firm favourites, but I'm sure Andy Farrell won't let the team, or that there's enough leadership within the group to understand that England are going to come with a lot of fire in the belly. It's a huge day. We've only ever won the Grand Slam 3 times, and today hopefully will be a special day.
And look, we're being led by a very experienced campaigner in Johnny Sexton, going to hopefully break the top point scorer record in the tournament today, but far more importantly looking to captain Ireland to a Grand Slam for the first time. Will this bring the best out of Johnny Sexton a week like this and a challenge like this?
Well, he likes challenges, doesn't he? And he's answered a lot of challenges. He's had mainly lots of ups with Ireland, but there's been a few disappointing days as well. And, he's spoken during the week about just his sole focus is on the performance of the team and getting it right, and hopefully at the end having a trophy. I think he's been remarkable in an Irish jersey, great leadership, and he'll try and inspire the team today. So will it bring the best out of him? Well, on the evidence of what we've seen in the past, yes, because he's a big game player, but there's lots of big game players in this Irish side. I'm sure England will try and look to their big game players as well, but this is all set up really nicely for Ireland. If they have their heads right, which we've seen they have, and they seem to be feet on firmly on the ground and focusing on just getting a performance today.
Yeah, and a lot of that is being attributed to their head coach Andy Farrell and his coaching staff and the culture they've created around this team, which really seems to be bringing the best out of them. They have talked continually about how much they're enjoying the experience in camp. How big of an effect has that had on this team?
It's been very big. Obviously, I think Andy Farrell has done a great job. I think when he took over from Joe Schmidt, they probably had, both himself and Mike Catt had 12 to 18 months of people questioning, was it the right appointment, was it going to work out? They flipped it over and turned it right around in the last 2 years. And ironically, it's this game 2 years ago that we saw that big performance in beating England here. And, he's been brilliant. I think his presence and the way he talks to the media obviously portrays the type of person he is. He's very calm, and I'm sure he's got that message across to his players. They are enjoying it, they're winning, which is always better to be in an environment like that. He was asked, is it the end of the world if, how much pressure is on him today? And he said, it's just a game of rugby. I love that attitude, and that attitude kind of rubs off on his team, and that's the way they've portrayed themselves. So they've been brilliant. I think they're a very humble side, and he's a very humble guy who's done a remarkable job with this team.
Looking at the England squad then, obviously the big talking point is the fact that Owen Farrell starts at 10, Manu Tuilagi outside him and Henry Slade outside him. Facing that is Johnny Sexton, Bundy Aki and Robbie Henshaw in for the injured Gary Ringrose. Very experienced backline for Ireland and England. How do you feel that midfield battle is going to go today?
Well, it's crucial, I think, because there's no doubt England are going to try and get at Johnny Sexton, put pressure on him, get in his face. Manu Tuilagi coming back into any side is a boost. He's so powerful and strong. And I think they will want him early on to get into the game, to try and get over the gain line, to maybe run at Sexton, Aki. But, Bundy Aki's no slouch, is he? He's going to be pumped and ready for that. I think it's important. Both of those guys are really, really physical. That, both have had issues before with high tackles, and they're very powerful. So they've got to make sure the discipline is right and get the emotion right. I think Slade outside Tuilagi is more silky skills. You mentioned Robbie Henshaw. What a player to bring in for Gary Ringrose. It's certainly a crucial area, and there's lots of battles right across the field as well. Right throughout both teams. It's really intriguing.
It's going to be a momentous battle. We need to wrap up. How are you calling it?
Well, I'm confident that Ireland will win, but I'm nervous that England are going to bring a lot of fire and energy and aggression, but I think based on what we've seen from this Irish team, they will be able to cope, and I think Ireland will win the game.
Good stuff. Cautious optimism here at the Aviva Stadium. Back to you in the studio, and don't forget, we'll have the game live here on Virgin Media 1 from 5 o'clock this evening.